In 1910, the Flexner Report shut down more than half of America's medical schools. The ones that closed were the ones teaching botanical medicine. The ones that stayed open were funded by men who also owned pharmaceutical companies. Your great-grandmother did not notice. She already had everything she needed growing 12 feet from her back door. Number 8 on this list was called dangerous folk medicine by the American Medical Association in 1928. The FDA quietly approved its active compound for clinical use in 2003. Number 5 was banned from professional medical practice by 1920. Johns Hopkins published a study in 2019 confirming it outperforms the leading prescription treatment for its condition. Number 2 has been growing in American lawns for 10,000 years. You probably sprayed it with herbicide last Tuesday. These are not alternative medicine claims. These are documented mechanisms of action that modern phytochemistry has spent 100 years catching up to. Your great-grandmother did not have the vocabulary. She had the results. Hit subscribe. Because what grew in her backyard was not superstition. It was a pharmacy that nobody could patent and nobody could sell you. Let us count them down. Number 10. Elderberry. Every farm had an elder bush at the edge of the property. Your great-grandmother harvested the dark purple berries every August and simmered them down with raw honey and cloves into a thick syrup she kept in a stone crock through winter. A spoonful at the first sign of a cold. A spoonful every morning when illness was moving through the community. She did not know the word cytokine. She knew that the family got sick less and recovered faster. Modern immunology now knows why. Elderberry compounds directly inhibit viral replication and modulate the immune system's inflammatory response. A 2016 randomized controlled trial published in Nutrients found elderberry supplementation reduced the duration of colds by an average of 2 days and cut severity scores nearly in half. A bottle of commercial elderberry syrup costs $14 at the pharmacy. Your great-grandmother's bush cost nothing and produced enough berries to last the winter. The recipe has not changed. The plant has not changed. Only the price tag is new. Number 9. Yarrow. If someone cut themselves badly in your great-grandmother's kitchen, she did not reach for a cabinet. She reached out the back door. Yarrow grew in every fence line and field edge across rural America. A flat-topped white flower on a feathery stem that most people today would be a weed. She packed the fresh, crushed leaves directly into the wound. The bleeding slowed. Sometimes it stopped within minutes. Yarrow contains acylic acid, a compound that accelerates platelet aggregation. It is genuinely hemostatic. The mechanism is not folklore. It is measurable chemistry that operates the same way whether your great-grandmother knew the name for it or not. Hippocrates documented its use for wounds. The plant's Latin name, Achillea millefolium, comes from the legend that Achilles used it on his soldiers' battlefield wounds. Your great-grandmother was using a treatment with a documented history stretching back before written medicine. The FDA has not approved it. It works anyway. Number 8. Plantain. Not the banana. The low flat weed with the ribbed oval leaves that grows in every compacted lawn, every gravel driveway edge, every disturbed soil in North America. Your great-grandmother called it by its common name, and she knew exactly what it was for. Splinter that would not get out, bee sting that was swelling, spider bite going red at the edges. She chewed a leaf into a poultice and pressed it to the skin. The inflammation went down. The splinter worked its way out. The sting stopped burning. Plantain contains aucubin, an anti-inflammatory compound, and allantoin, which promotes cell proliferation in healing tissue. A 2010 study in the Romanian Journal of Biology confirmed significant anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial activity in plantain leaf extract. It is in your lawn right now. Your great-grandmother would have recognized it immediately. Most Americans today have no idea what it is because nobody profits from a weed you can pick for free. Number 7. Valerian root. Before pharmaceutical sleep aids, before benzodiazepines, before the $4 billion American sleep industry existed, your great-grandmother dug valerian root from the herb bed in September, dried it in the barn rafters, and made a strong tea from it for anyone in the household who could not sleep or whose nerves were wound too tight after a hard season. The smell was powerful. The effect was real. Valerian root contains valerianic acid, which researchers have confirmed inhibits the breakdown of GABA in the brain, the same neurotransmitter pathway that prescription sleep medications target. A 2006 meta-analysis in the American Journal of Medicine reviewed 16 studies and concluded valerian improved sleep quality without the dependency risks of pharmaceutical alternatives. Your great-grandmother did not understand GABA pathways. She understood that the person who drank the tea slept through the night. The result was the same. The cost was a root she grew herself. Number 6. Garlic. Your great-grandmother did not cook with garlic only for flavor. She used it as medicine with the same matter-of-fact confidence she used yarrow for wounds. Ear infection, she packed a warm garlic clove wrapped in cloth against the ear. Chest congestion, she made a syrup from raw garlic and honey. A wound that was not healing cleanly got a raw garlic poultice. She was practicing evidence-based medicine before the term existed. Garlic's active compound, allicin, is produced when a clove is crushed or chewed and the enzyme alliinase contacts alliin. The result compound has documented antimicrobial activity against a broad spectrum of bacteria, including several strains that have developed resilience to conventional antibiotics. A 2011 study in the Journal of Antimicrobial Chemotherapy found garlic extract effective against antibiotic-resistant Campylobacter, one of the most common causes of food poisoning in the developed world. Nobody can patent a garlic clove. That is the entire reason you never heard this from a doctor. Number 5. Chamomile. Here is where the medical establishment gets genuinely uncomfortable. Chamomile was the primary treatment for digestive upset, infant colic, and anxiety in American households from colonial times through the early 20th century. Your great-grandmother made it into tea so routinely it was as normal as making coffee. Then organized medicine declared it folk remedy. Doctors prescribed pharmaceutical antispasmodics instead. The herbs went quiet. In 2009, the University of Pennsylvania published a randomized controlled trial in the Journal of Clinical Psychopharmacology, finding chamomile extract produced significantly greater reduction in generalized anxiety disorder symptoms than placebo. Results comparable to low-dose pharmaceutical anxiolytics with no dependency profile. For infant colic specifically, a study published in the Journal of Pediatrics found chamomile tea eliminated colic symptoms in 57% of affected infants versus 26% in the control group. Your great-grandmother gave fussy babies chamomile tea for 200 years. Medicine spent a century telling her she was wrong. Then they ran the trials and found out she was right. Number 4. Echinacea. Plains tribes used echinacea for more conditions than almost any other plant in the North American pharmacopoeia. Your great-grandmother learned it from the land she settled on, from the people who had used it there for generations, or from the herbal tradition that carried the knowledge eastward. She made a tincture from the root and took it at the first sign of infection. She pressed it into service for toothaches, infected wounds, and seasonal illness. A 2015 meta-analysis in JAMA reviewing 14 randomized trials found echinacea preparations reduced the incidence of common colds by 58% and reduced duration by 1.5 days. The mechanism involves activation of macrophages and natural killer cells in the innate immune system. The pharmaceutical industry cannot improve on a 58% reduction in cold incidence. They also cannot patent the plant. Your great-grandmother had it in her garden. You can too. Number 3. Raw honey. Your great-grandmother kept bees or bought raw honey from a neighbor who did. She used it for everything: coughs, wounds, burns, sore throats, infected cuts that were not healing cleanly. She knew it worked. She did not know why, and she did not need to. Raw honey's antibacterial properties come from three mechanisms operating simultaneously. Its low moisture content draws water out of bacterial cells by osmosis. Its naturally acidic pH inhibits bacterial growth, and it produces low-level hydrogen peroxide through enzyme activity. No bacterium has ever developed resistance to all three mechanisms simultaneously. In 2007, the FDA approved medical-grade Manuka honey for wound treatment in clinical settings. Hospitals now apply it to burns, surgical wounds, and chronic ulcers that have failed to respond to antibiotic treatment. Your great-grandmother was doing this in 1897 with honey from her own hives. Medicine took 110 years to officially agree with her. Number 2. Plantain. Again. We came back to it because it deserves it, because it is in your yard, because your great-grandmother would have looked at the average American lawn, chemically treated, herbicided, biologically dead, and understood immediately what was lost. She did not maintain a pharmacy. She maintained a relationship with the land around her house. The land provided what the family needed because she knew what to look for and what each plant was for. That knowledge was the inheritance. It passed from mother to daughter for generations. Then, one generation forgot, not because the plants stopped growing, because nobody told them what they were looking at. Number 1. The kitchen medicine garden itself. This is not a single plant. It is the philosophy behind all of them. Your great-grandmother did not separate food from medicine. The garden produced both because the line between them was not real to her. Garlic flavored the food and fought infection. Chamomile made the tea and calmed the stomach. Elderberry made the syrup and carried the family through winter. Yarrow grew at the fence line in case someone got cut. The pharmaceutical industry did not eliminate these plants. It could not. It eliminated the knowledge of what they were for. It trained a medical establishment to call them unscientific. It funded research selectively, studying what could be patented and ignoring what could not. It built a regulatory framework that prohibited health claims for any substance that had not been through a clinical trial process that costs hundreds of millions of dollars to complete. No one will spend that money proving a plant great-grandmother grew for free. Here is your challenge. Walk your yard this week and identify 3 plants growing there right now. Look them up. Find out what your great-grandmother would have known about them that you do not. The pharmacy she kept has been growing there the whole time. It has been waiting for someone to remember what it was for. Tell me in the comments which plant surprised you most, because I promise you, someone in your family's history knew every last one of these by name and by use. That knowledge did not disappear. It just went quiet. It is time to start listening again.